You have seen her in shadowed chapels, carved in stone, painted in secrecy, veiled in mystery, the Black Madonna, a face that was never meant to be erased, yet was wrapped in darkness to conceal what she carried. Why is she black? Not because she is void of light, but because she holds the primal soil of creation itself. Her color is not absence, it is fertility, depth, the ground from which all things rise. Her darkness is not punishment, but the fertile womb of becoming. For centuries, churches tried to explain her away. They said the smoke of candles had darkened her skin, or that age had stained her image. But this was a lie of convenience. For to acknowledge her true nature would unravel the story empire wanted to tell. The Black Madonna is the memory of the feminine maid, indestructible. She is Sophia in her hidden form, Isis cloaked for survival, the mother of God transmuted into the mother of all. She is the wisdom empire could not erase, the presence hidden in plain sight, veiled but never broken. To kneel before her image was never superstition, it was recognition. The poor, the silenced, the forgotten, all found in her a mirror of their own survival. She was dark like the soil they worked, strong like the stone they carried, radiant in the silence empire could not dominate. The Black Madonna is not only symbol, she is code, she is altar, she is doorway. She reminds us that the sacred cannot be bleached, cannot be domesticated, cannot be confined to the images empire approves. Her power lies in what she conceals, the fertility of spirit, a womb of wisdom, a force that whispers, I was never gone, I was always here. This is where our journey begins, with the recognition that she is not a relic of stone, but a living key. She is the face of divine power empire sought to bury, but which every soul who touches her image can feel rising again. When you stand before her image, something stirs that words cannot hold. It is not only beauty you feel, but recognition. The Black Madonna does not smile politely. She gazes with the weight of millennia, her eyes carved by survival, her silence louder than the proclamations of kings. Her silence was her shield. For centuries, empire tried to bleach her, to repaint her in paler tones, to explain away her darkness as accident or damage. Yet she remained. Each time her image was restored, the darkness returned, as though the icon itself refused the erasure. She remained black because truth does not yield to cosmetic lies. What they feared was not the pigment. What they feared was the memory she carried, a lineage of the Divine Mother untamed. In her dark face was the soil of Africa, the mystery of Isis, the cave of Sophia, the hidden womb where spirit and matter embrace. She was proof that divinity was not pale, not removed, not lofty, but rooted, embodied, and close to the earth. The Black Madonna was, and still is, the sanctuary of those cast aside. The poor, the ill, the exiled, they flocked to her shrines, whispering prayers empire could not hear. She became the protector of those who had no voice in the cathedral. Her altars became places where silenced people remembered themselves as holy. She did not belong to popes or princes. She belonged to the forgotten. And yet, she is more than comfort. She is confrontation. To see her is to be reminded that the holy is not sterile, not bleached of struggle. The holy is dark with soil, scarred by survival, alive with fire that refuses to be tamed. Her face asks you, what parts of yourself have you hidden to fit inside empire's story? What fragments of your soul were painted over in paler tones? And will you allow them to return unashamed, dark, fertile, radiant? To remember the Black Madonna is not to worship a statue. It is to awaken a force within you, the feminine current of divine power that refuses to bow, that refuses to be erased. She is not an artifact, she is an awakening. To enter her mystery is to walk into the cave, not the gilded halls of empire, but the womb-like chambers where silence holds you. The cave has always been her temple, hidden beneath mountains, carved into rock, cloaked in shadow places where pilgrims came with broken feet and desperate prayers. Inside these caves, the air was thick with wax and smoke, the sound of whispered chants rising like breath. And at the center, she waited, dark face illuminated by flickering flame, eyes unyielding, presence vast. In the silence of those caverns, the forgotten could finally breathe. For she did not demand perfection. She did not require wealth. She asked only that you remember. You were born from the dark, and you will return to it, not as punishment, but as power. The Black Madonna is the reminder that holiness is not sterilized. It is not polished marble or flawless ivory. Holiness is the soil on your skin, the struggle etched in your bones, the resilience that kept you alive when everything tried to silence you. Holiness is the ability to rise, again and again, from what empire declared unworthy. This is why she is hidden, because her image undoes the hierarchies of empire. If the holy is found in darkness, then power cannot remain in the hands of those who bleach and rewrite. If the divine is found in soil and shadow, then no throne, no crown, no priest can claim to own it. The Black Madonna whispers of a divinity that cannot be managed. She whispers that the womb of God is not in the clouds, but in the earth, in the body, in the silence of those who carry life, even when the world denies their power. Her darkness holds the truth empire fears most, that God has always been with the ones they call unworthy. And so, to remember her is to remember yourself. To see her darkened face is to recognize the soil of your own becoming. It is to step out of the lie that holiness must be pale, distant, or perfect. It is to reclaim the truth that divinity has always lived in the places empire tried to bury. The Black Madonna does not only live in shrines, she lives in memory, in dream, in the hidden corridors of your soul. For those who seek her, she often arrives in moments of silence, or in the quiet between breaths. She appears when the lights of empire grow dim, when the lies begin to crack, when you need to remember that your worth does not come from approval but from the source itself. She comes as shadow, not to frighten you, but to teach you how to rest in the unseen. Her darkness is an invitation to release the need to shine constantly, to trust the cycles of death and rebirth, to let yourself descend so that you may rise with deeper roots. This is the secret empire never wanted you to know, that the descent itself is holy. They told you to fear the night, to fear the silence, to fear the dark. But in truth, the dark is where power gathers. The seed must disappear into soil, the soul must fall into silence, the womb must be hidden before birth. The Black Madonna reminds you that this descent is not loss, it is preparation. Pilgrims who visited her shrines carried this wisdom back into their lives. They knew that when the world turned against them, they had an ally who had already survived every attempt at erasure. They carried her like a flame in their bones. That is why her devotion endured for centuries in secret, because her truth was carried not in books or decrees, but in hearts that refused to forget. She speaks most powerfully now, in this age, because the same forces that once buried her are faltering. Empire crumbles, old structures collapse, and into the cracks, her presence rises. She comes not to destroy, but to remind us that life is stronger than the cages we build around it. She is the fertile soil breaking through stone, the womb of creation opening again, the voice that whispers, "You cannot silence me, for I am within you." The Black Madonna is not waiting for you in some distant cathedral. She is waiting for you within yourself. Her face carved in darkness is not a relic of superstition, but a mirror of your own hidden strength. When you look upon her, you are looking into the fertile soil of your own soul, the part of you that empire could not bleach, could not erase, could not silence. Her message is simple, but it cuts through centuries. Do not be ashamed of your shadow. Do not exile your wounds. Do not fear the places within you that feel hidden or heavy, for it is in the dark that the most radiant seeds take root. It is in silence that wisdom gathers. It is in shadow that the sacred flame prepares to rise. She is not here to be worshipped as something apart from you. She is here to be remembered as something alive within you. The Black Madonna is the power that says, "You are holy not because you fit an empire's story, but because you exist at all. You are sacred because you are woven of the same soil, the same fire, the same mystery as the stars." So take her into your breath, feel her gaze in your bones, walk with her as a companion, not as an idol. When you are lost in shadow, let her remind you that shadow is where transformation brews. When the world tells you you are unworthy, let her whisper that your worth was written before any throne rose or fell. When silence surrounds you, know that silence is her sanctuary, and in that silence, you are not alone. The Black Madonna rises not as statue but as presence, not as artifact but as awakening. She rises wherever one soul refuses to bow to the lie of erasure. She rises wherever truth cracks stone. She rises wherever you remember. The divine has always lived in the dark, and the dark has always been fertile with light. And now, she rises in you.